Hi, and welcome back to the Vlogger Interviews. You know, a few weeks ago I interviewed a mom and several of her boys, all of whom had YouTube channels. But one of them is a YouTube partner already. He's 14 years old. He wants to be a filmmaker, and I thought he'd be a lot of fun to bring back and talk more in depth with his perception of YouTube and his dreams for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Fur. How did your journey on YouTube, how did it all begin?
You know, ever since I was little, like I'm talking, I would steal my mom's, old over-the-shoulder camera and I'd run around filming, my little dolls and stuff. And, as I got older, of course, I progressed from dolls to people. But, I started, writing scripts, like putting things together, really inspired by, what I saw on TV and what other YouTubers were. Because I watched a couple of channels way back in the day, like Rhett and Link. I used to watch Rhett and Link a lot. And so I saw them and I'd be like, you know what, I want to be like that too, because I love filming and all that stuff, directing. So I started script writing and editing and trying to put things together and working stuff out. And, I got my friends to do it with me and just started uploading.
How old were you when you launched your channel?
I was 11 when I launched my first channel.
And what would you say is the first thing you discovered about it that you didn't think about before?
Probably professionality, like I was just so like loose, like whatever, like I kept the bloopers like in the middle of the video and I was like, yeah, because I was so young,
Uh-huh. And go ahead.
And then, when I watched, like I was saying, big YouTubers like Rhett and Link and other people do it, I noticed that they didn't do those kind of things,
And what in terms of the audience reaction, the fact that people were commenting, how did you take that at first? Because I know you probably got all kinds of comments.
Well, actually, the only people who commented were really my friends, and those are the people in the video, so they were all like, oh, this is the best thing ever.
That's good. So when did it start changing, though? When did it start evolving for you beyond that first kind of playing around?
Well, once I took it a little more seriously, instead of just being it a hobby, I was all like, you know what, this is really my passion. I'm going to take things another notch. So I started interacting with other people, like, oh, how do you like my new video? I'd comment on other people's channels, comment on other videos, because also back when, like when it was just me and my friends, I was a little stuffy. Like I was all like, oh yeah, I'm the best thing ever, me and my 5 subscribers.
And so, I mean, how did it start becoming more serious for you? What was there like a turning point or something where you realized that people are starting to watch this thing?
Yes, because I started getting, as I would interact with other people would interact with me too. And so I noticed, hey, people are actually starting to like some of this stuff. Why don't I, start uploading every week? Why don't I get more serious with it,
What was it, what kind of videos do you like doing? I mean, we haven't talked about what your channel is. Why don't you sort of summarize that for me?
Well, originally I was just doing skits, like just straight up, comedy skits or whatever. But then I started evolving into, and then I kind of switched over to vlogging. And now I do a little bit of everything. I do skits still, I do vlogs. I remember this one video I did, I chased down Selena Gomez in the middle of the night, and so my channel is just such a diversity between, things I like and enjoy doing.
Can you explain what Fur, why Fur?
Oh, well, my full name is Christopher, and my little sister, when she was really young, and my little brother, when they were really young, they couldn't pronounce it, so they would just be like, Fur. I guess they just heard the last part of it, so they just call me Fur, and then, my parents started calling me Fur, my friends, and so...
Has your audience ever speculated on why you were Fur? Why you were Fur?
Yes. They're like...
Any weird guesses?
Yeah, they're like, that can't be your real name, is it? And I'm like, well, it pretty much is, It's just not on my birth certificate.
So what kind of films, you're an aspiring filmmaker, what kind of films would you one day like to make?
Well, of course, I love comedy. I think that's funny, and that also seems to be the best, like, success on YouTube. But, I also just love films that, have a little bit of everything in them. Like, I don't know, of course you've seen Forrest Gump.
Mm-hmm.
Like that movie, I'm hysterically laughing, I'm crying, it's joyful. I like, just an impactful thing.
Let me ask you this: as from this is kind of a hard question, I guess, but from your perspective, as someone of your generation, you become a professional director. Where do you see yourself creating? Do you see yourself creating online, or for motion pictures, or all of the above? I mean,
well, of course, right now I could only, I'm only doing it online. So I guess I would say, well, I see myself creating online because it's working out for me so good now. But I'm completely open for things to evolve in the future. Like if someone, offered me, a job or something like that, I'd be like, sure.
But I mean, do you think that when you and other people of your generation become filmmakers, that'll mean something different than it does now? That you will be creating as much for the online world as you will for motion pictures, if that goes in that direction for you?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell the future because
Sure.
the fact of that the internet is taking over TV so much, it could be entirely different. People could be rather making an internet video than a motion picture. But right now, motion picture is bigger than internet video.
Sure,
but it's evolving, So I don't know.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
What now? How much television, traditional old style television, do you actually watch?
Not that much, I'll be honest, but I do watch American Idol when it comes on, and I guess that honestly, if I were to think, I think American Idol is the only show that I actually watch, and that's only half the year, so I barely watch TV.
Right. So most of the entertainment you get is from YouTube?
Yes, yeah.
Wow. And what now you work with so sometimes your family's involved in your videos, sometimes you're involved in your family's videos, and now you're also collaborating with other YouTubers. Now, when did you first start meeting YouTubers and going to like playlists and all these things?
Well, I actually went to Playlist before I took YouTube really seriously, just because I was, like a little fangirl for all the big YouTubers.
Okay.
But I actually think Playlist, I started meeting other people that weren't, big YouTubers, and I was like, wow, these people, there are other people that do it too, they're not just the big famous guys that I watch. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. So I started meeting them, and I checked out their channel, and then I interacted with them like afterwards, and and that's, I guess, I started meeting more people just through, comments, and yeah.
What was it like meeting a lot of these people that you got to know online, meeting them in person?
It's like, oh my gosh, they're real. Like I'm like, wait a minute, you're not a video. It's it's actually pretty weird because it's like, it's like they're chill. Some of them are just like how they are in camera. Some of them aren't. It's really weird. It's awesome though. I love it.
I mean, is there anybody in particular that is totally different offline than they are online?
Let me think about that. Oh, probably who I met at this year's Playlist. Probably Damien from Make Me Bad 35. He was just so chill. In his videos, he's like, wow, like crazy. And in real life, he's just like, hey man, what's up? I'm like, whoa.
So what is it? I mean, what did you learn about the YouTube community when you first started going to Playlist that you didn't know before?
I learned that it's actually a community. It's not just, people making cat videos and running around, It's actually a community. These people actually get along. They actually make friends. They're actually like a big old family, Uh-huh. And so I was like, wow, I want in on that.
And what, in terms of the comments and dealing with, as a YouTuber, what, you're not just putting videos up there. What is your responsibility, if I can use that word, as a YouTuber when you put up a video? What else do you do to keep interest in your channel? I mean, answering comments, things like that.
Yeah, well, I think interacting with the audience is a big thing, and that's also what I think is also why the internet would take over TV, because like I'm commenting on like, Niga Higa's new video or whatever, and he'll comment back like, oh, thanks, you're awesome too. And I'm like, wow, you can actually interact with these people, and so I think that's definitely a big thing that I always love to do on the side. If people will write me, I will always write them back, so I think that's a big thing.
And what is it that you most love about this whole experience?
I love the fact that you don't have to, be in the big Hollywood crowd to do what the big Hollywood crowd does.
Thank you, Fur. Remember, you can follow him at, well, it's obvious, Fur. And if you want to follow me, subscribe right here and follow me on Twitter at Rinkflix. I'll see you next time.